So I figured today I would do a bunch of very budget raids. Just gonna run like your Keras, and obviously downgrade the Defender to a Dragon 1, some Dragon Boots, and Barrow's Gloves. Just because there's not a huge difference. And then obviously you've got your mage gear, you can swap the ward for a book, and then just whatever clothes and stuff you're wearing. Same with your range gear. In this case I've just got mixed hide, and that works great on stab. Totally fine for the BGS, claws, stuff for later. And then backpack swap. Sorry. Obviously there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can bring, like thralls, but you don't necessarily have to. At the end I'll probably put up the invocations, or at some point just through editing to be like, hey, these are the things that I popped, but it's just like your lowest 150 to be able to get in. The first boss has two different special attacks where they either scream and send a bunch of rocks out, or they will summon a bunch of waves and you have to step through them like Galvic. For the puzzle room before it, you grab some water and then water the plant in the middle. Pretty simple. And there's a puzzle room for each of them. In this case I'm just going to run across and not bother with any of the crocodiles. I probably should have, because I just got hit twice, but that's fine. Because it's a 150, you're probably going to max hit anyway. Once the plant's fully watered, just run through. Obviously the better the range gear, the easier it'll be. The big boulders are your ranged, and then the red balls are your mage. I also forgot to eat my angler before going in, so that's great. There's the first special, he summons the boulders, so you stand behind them within 3 tiles. And then you'll notice that you don't get hit when he does his little slam on the ground like that. Same thing, ACB can be downgraded to a dragon crossbow or a rune crossbow, just depending on what you have access to and your budget. But ACB is great for teams, not so much solo. In that case, I nearly also stepped back into the wave. Probably just give it a moment. Once the waves go past, and you're fine. have to worry about flicking, and just leave on rigor or whichever of the defensive praetors you have as well. At the end of the room, you'll get full everything again. But TOA is really accessible, it's not too bad, and obviously it's easier or more fun with more people. Last little bit of health. If you see the red blood clouds, just run to the other side. Otherwise they hurt. Last little bit. Second room you want to go for is the scarabs. Same puzzle, just that one's hit the pillars so that they light up, this one shows you the order that they'll light up. For this you usually make like an S and the other bits aren't done already, so it's just a matter of flipping them on and working with whoever who's on the other side or whoever's on your team. You've got a couple different methods for this room, whether you chill in one of the corners and just keep using the same dung all over and over again, or whether you melee trap up there and then run around the other sides. You'll see there's a shadow on the floor, and take a couple steps just to avoid it and then repeat. Chuck pre-range on when you see the scarab, or melee for the respective style. I'm also just going to not bother with the scarab swarms so that it fully heals up. this case, he's melee, so I chuck Prey Melee on, and then I start hitting the mage. In this case, we kill it before it teleports, so it's nice and chill. Mixed Hide works great. You can probably use it till you save for bandos or for something else that's, you know, pricey for your melee gear. Tank armor also works great, at least at the start. Torags, Guthans, anything that gives you pretty decent range or mage defense. Once you get dunged, you then want to move, otherwise you'll get hit with said dung and then take a little damage. Also didn't realise I still have my prayer up, could easily have just switched that off, but again, it's just a 150, so no biggie. Once that goes green, you click on the thing to mine it. Nice and easy. Akka is the same, where you'll have a couple different specials where he turns you black or white and will summon shadows around the room or do like a memory puzzle like thing. Huge hit off the bat, which is great. up doing more damage to the shadow, but that's fine. Grab the salts from the bag, then do the memory puzzle. Yellow, black, red, white. Then obviously with the different invocations you can speed or slow this part down. And then it's just copying the overhead 1, 2, 3, and repeat back to melee. There was the second swap from melee to range. A nice and easy Echo room done. Finally the last, well, second to last room. So you grab a hammer and a potion, and then you've got two callouts where it's either the vents or the roof supports. The vents you use the green potion on, and then the pillars you hammer. Then you just kind of keep swapping between mage and range depending on what you're fighting. Still not one hit them without praise. That sucks. Let's not step over there. In this case, I got vents again. Finally, there's a pillar call out. After you've killed the monkeys with the combat triangle, get your prayer, get your health back. Get rid of the spam. In this case, I made sure I'm on slash for my BGS, and then pray melee. You want to stand by the rubble with the health for when it throws rocks like that. The backpack, the necklace, which I forgot my anguish. That's kind of funny. Yeah, backpack, the necklace, and then your bow are going to be like your biggest max hits on the boulders, so you kind of just swap those over. In this case, I'm going to wait for these last boulders to disappear because of that. Where I did it just a little too quickly. But that's fine. At some point, 150s are very relaxing. And you start being like, oh, these are not so bad. I had a full row of stuff I easily could have brought. Whether it's potions, extra gear, etc. Usually I would summon a thrall here and boost up, but in this case, because we're not bringing some of those things, it's probably just going to be a overheal a smelling soul, and then your offensive prayers talk to the thing to begin, and then start tanking. Since I overhealed, every time it hits about 100 to 95 and the stats have boosted back up, that's when I will do the thing. As soon as the yellow UFOs have appeared, step in the safe spots. Same with the red ones. There's the red UFOs again. If you're quick enough, you can kill it before the extra hits come. Otherwise, swap to your mage gear, and away you go with the warden. You're probably like, holy shit, there's a bunch of tiles here. Red skulls are mage, fast balls are range, and then the same with the 3 specials for each of the respective types. Trying to multitask and failing, it's fine. Take a sip of the blue, grab your DDS, and then hit the core. That is where he freezes you. The shadows there you want to stand within a plus of. Or just run away from. But yeah, we've got a few different options in that regard. I probably should have gone over it at the time, but Barber's 2 special attacks are where they essentially just slam the ground and then they throw the rocks, and they do the thing where you have to go stand by the sarcophagi. Probably could have gone for the 3 down for more points, but just to get through it, pop that back on. Big BGS at the start of the fight, and then chuck your melee weapon on when you see the skulls and then give them a little bop. I like to move once they've slammed the ground. The ZCB is stupidly good here because you can hit 110s with the, blue potions. You get half special attacks, or half cost special attacks, so it's quite nice to have. Not quite essential, but still quite nice to have. I opted for the budget version of it. And then this last room is the first room, where you've got Zebak doing the boulders, the little red ones, as well as the monkey dropping the boulders. If you block the other side of the obelisk, you'll get the other two. Move too early. With the BGS, quite nice. Not even smelling salted. That's fine. Swap to mage. Then as the rows get taken, you then want to move up closer and closer to the last row up here. Then the general idea would be the first one starts getting bigger, so you move on to step 2 or 3 to avoid the second ones, back to the first one. Or just keep running around, either or. No luck, but it's pretty standard. that's TOA. Nice and easy.